Hey guys, it's Sheridan, and today I'm going to be reviewing Darken by Kiersten. And I'm really excited to tell you guys about this book, but there are a few things that I wanted to talk about first. As you can probably tell by the videos on my channel, you'd see that this is the first video review that I've ever done for my channel, so my apologies if things are a little bit shaky, if this isn't normally how a video book review is done. I'm still trying to figure out how I like to structure my video reviews, and so I'm working that through with myself and my channel. So I would appreciate if you would give me any kind of feedback on what you liked from this review. If you'd like me to talk about certain things more, like characters, plot, etc., please leave them in the comments below. Also, this review for Darken will be no spoilers, or as minimal spoilers as I can. I don't want to give away this book because it's absolutely amazing and you deserve to have a very true and authentic experience with it without being spoiled. Whew! Okay, now that that's out of the way, I want to talk about this book. Darken was published in June of this year by Delacorte Press, which I believe is an imprint of Random House. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but the Random House email is on the back of this arc, so I believe it is an imprint of Random House, and this is by Kiersten, and I have never read any of her books before, but this one totally took my heart and ran with it. This book is set during the time when the Ottoman Empire was still a thing. I'm a really big history buff, so I absolutely adore the synopsis of this book, and I was so excited to get into it. The first line of the back of this book is, "No one expects a princess to be brutal." This book is about a girl named Lada and her brother Radu, who are pulled away from her father and forced to be raised in the Ottoman courts after he abandoned them. I know, heavy stuff already. This takes place, obviously, when the Ottoman Empire was still a rising power and they were doing a bunch of conquering. So, of course, after being abandoned by their father and put into this unfamiliar place with unfamiliar people and an unfamiliar political situation happening, the pair have to figure out a way to survive. And, luckily for you, Lada's basically a feminine Vlad the Impaler, so she can do whatever she wants. Radu, not so much. He's a little bit on the shy side, and he's not as assertive as Lada is. And I just want to say my favorite character from this book is definitely Lada, just because she is a female character that kind of defies all gender stereotypes and refuses to give in to societal pressures based on her gender. There were just a ton of lines in this book that totally show her non-conforming to society's standards, and while I would love to read them to you, I feel like they would kind of take away from the experience, and I feel like you should experience these lines in the context that you were meant to, so you should read this, because there are some really good lines in here. Obviously, being the history junkie that I am, I absolutely loved when the story was taking place. In my school, we don't learn a lot about the Ottoman Empire as itself. We learn about it in context of a bunch of other things happening in the world, but we don't really take the time to study the Ottoman Empire and what it was. I'm not going to get into that because, trust me, you will have a 40-minute video on me talking about the Ottoman Empire because I am that big of a history junkie. So I absolutely ate up every bit of historical accuracy, knowledge, whatever is in this book. I absolutely loved it. I tore through it. To be honest, when I read this book, it kind of sounded like a fantasy to me, but it turns out that it's really not a fantasy at all. It's more of a historical fiction with some undertones of other genres, if that makes sense, but I really liked how it wasn't like straight historical facts and straight historical accuracy, but it was able to take a time period in which the Ottoman Empire existed and thrived and turn it into an actual story and build a separate world from what happened actually in history while still keeping some historical elements. And I'm really sorry if that statement didn't make any sense at all. I tried. I just really liked how this book was able to blend fiction and reality. Now, as you can tell from me rambling and showing you the size of this book, it's obviously very, very long, and it has a lot of different things going on within it, which means a lot of different subplots and a lot of plot points that you think are going to be the main plot points, but they're actually not. But for me, I actually like it when a book's not laid out straightforward. I actually like it when they have little twists in there, like this one. There are a ton of different side characters, a ton of different side stories, and a ton of different information that you wouldn't be able to understand had you not understood the perspectives of the side characters in this story. So I really like it. So while Lada is the main character, you also get to read a lot from her brother, Radu, and I actually think it's very important to read some of the book from his perspectives when his sister's not around, because it shows who Lada is as a character, it shows who Radu is as a character, and it also gives away some crucial information to the plot. So I actually really like how this book went into detail about what happens when one of the two main characters aren't around. In terms of warning about language, content, etc., there is a bit of sexual content in here, so I would definitely recommend this to older YA readers. I was fine with it. I'm 17 and I was fine with it. It didn't bug me, and I'm not the kind of person that likes to read books with that kind of content, so I was fine with it. That kind of information only appears a couple of times in here, and it's not that crucial to the plot, so I was able to get through it myself absolutely fine, but I'll let you make your own judgment on that. And if you have any questions about that, you can comment them or message me. I have a Twitter, you can DM me there if you have any more questions, and I will be happy to answer them about content, etc. The thing that I loved the most about this book was absolutely Lada. I loved how she interacted with other characters. I love how she thought about herself. I love how there was a shift in who she was and who she was trying to forbid herself to be. I really love how Lada didn't let gender roles define her. She was able to kind of be who she was and didn't care what other people think, and that was a huge, huge part of this book. I also really like this book because there was a ton of questioning of religion, of home, of family, just of everything else going on around you, and as a teenager, I really think that's important to read about and recognize and start questioning those things for yourself. So I would definitely recommend this book to anyone just based on that alone. I really love how this book explained religion and explained the characters' questioning of religion. I'm not going to say who because that's a spoiler, but I just really enjoyed how that was phrased, how that was put in what context, and it just spoke to me as a teen, as a reader, and as a person. There's also a ton of questioning of home and family, especially because the two main characters were abandoned by their father, who was supposed to love them and care for them, but during the time of the Ottoman Empire, especially for Lada, it was more valuable for a king to have a male heir to the throne, and it turns out that his firstborn was a girl. So there's a ton of content regarding that and questioning, you know, your family and, you know, where you come from, who you want to be, the values that your family instills in you, and whether or not you want to take those values on to other people. This book just had a ton of good content aside from the plot itself and aside from the historical context, but I just really adored how this book was able to take in so many concepts from so many different time periods and just blend them together perfectly in this little book. Mwah. I absolutely love this book. Not to mention the cover is absolutely gorgeous. Not that that's what you should judge a book on, but let's be real. If I want to take Bookstagram pictures, I'm going to take Bookstagram pictures of this book because this cover is gorgeous. And this isn't even the finished copy. It's the advanced reader's copy, so I have to go out and get myself a hardcover when I have some money because I want this beauty on my shelves in all of the editions. As you can tell, I have Black Widow editions right there. I gotta start and I Darken. So to recap for a too long didn't watch, I absolutely love this book. I rated it 5 out of 5 stars. I love the characters, I love the plot, I love the setting, I love the historical context, I love the questioning of religion, home, family, etc. that was present in this book. I absolutely adored it. It's a little on the longer side, but that didn't stop me from reading it. I absolutely love, love, love this book, and I will have to try Kiersten White's other books as soon as I can. If you'd like to see more reviews like this one, punch that like button down below and subscribe. Every subscriber, comment, etc. means the world to me, and I wouldn't be here at all without you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye!